and happy 4th of July weekend. Today is Saturday, July 2nd, and I'm getting ready for a barbecue at Lynette's house. We are going to make my favorite summertime dessert from the Dessert Bible by Chris Kimball. Mr. Kimball was the editor-in-chief and host of America's Test Kitchen, which is an amazing show that tests all the ingredients and methods, what happens when you use a little less water, what it does to the pie dough, what happens when you add another egg. So these recipes are pretty awesome. This was published in 2000 when I worked at Little Brown & Company in Boston, so quite a while ago. But I've made this dessert for quite a while. It's going to be a fresh fruit tart with pastry cream, so let's get going. So we're going to start with the flour and the sugar. Add that together. My favorite tiny little bowl. Add in the salt. And I like to sort of just whisk this around a little bit, breaks up the flour, gets everything all together. We're going to add the butter in the little pieces and the shortening also in the little pieces. Now we're going to kind of squish this all together, but you want the flour around the fats and you're breaking up the fat. You're just going to do this for a while until you get kind of a cornmeal-y texture. Thanks so much to the people who gave some feedback on my first cooking video with the zoodles. I heard that you would prefer to see my face while we're working, so we're doing this in the living room with a little more light. So let me know what you think about this change. It takes a lot longer to do anything when you're making a video between washing your hands, washing plates, washing dishes, but I think it's fun so far. We'll see how it goes. Alright, so the dough's a little sticky, I think because it is warm today. We're in summer after all. I'm going to add it to my favorite mixing bowl. Add a little bit of the water to the egg and put in. I'm going to do kind of a folding motion here, not too roughly, kind of folding more than straight mixing, a little more gentle. Now we're going to try to press everything together into a dough. You want the dough to be a little bit wetter rather than drier because we're going to take some flour. Just kind of make your surface a little bit easier to handle the dough. I find tart dough a lot more forgiving than pie dough. I'm not so good at making pies, don't really like them as much. And it's going to go into the fridge for 2 hours. Have a little rest. So with the blueberries, of course, will stay whole. And now we'll do with the strawberries. Like to have the little bowl that they'll go into and the little trash bowl. I know there's a little tool for coring strawberries, but I don't feel like buying too many things extra makes too much sense. So I'm okay with just cutting them. So this will take a while, so why don't you take a break? Alright, so pastry cream time. We're back in the kitchen. We've got our half and half in a little pan here, and we're just going to heat that a bit. And we're going to do that just until it begins to simmer. Next, saucepan, egg yolks in, sugar in, flour in, and whisk this up for about a minute just to incorporate everything and until it's about light and fluffy. So we're looking pretty good here. I'm going to go ahead and add about half of the half and half while you're whisking. Don't want to cook the eggs, so we're going kind of slowly. A little more. And we're going to go all in. I'm going to be doing this for about 4 to 7 minutes. Want this to thicken up from the flour. I think Julie Powell said something in her blog that became her book, that became the movie Julia, about cooking being reassuring because you can come home at the end of the day and you know if you add cream and eggs and sugar and flour, it will get thick, and that's reassuring that it will always do that. So hopefully ours will too. So 7 minutes in here. Definitely got a cream here, very neat. Phone's ringing. Don't have a hand answering. Don't know who it is. Find out later. So we're just going to press this through and mix in the vanilla. I'm just going to press some plastic wrap onto the surface so we don't get that skin. I know some people like that pudding skin kind of thing, but we're not doing that today. So into the fridge. Alright, so we are embarking on my least favorite part. Dough has been in the refrigerator, then out of the refrigerator for 20 minutes. And we're going to attempt rolling out here. So just got some flour on here to try to roll it out. We want to make this about 2 inches larger than the pan, which I'll be honest, I'm not very good at. What's actually happened in the past is that I haven't rolled it out quite well and end up having it break apart a bit and just kind of pressing it into the pan, which is cheating. I'll admit it, it's not the right way to do it at all, but hey, it's worked in the past. I think that's where we're gonna go today. This rolling pin is from my college roommate, Katie. Thank you, Katie, for a birthday. I think if you eat a lot, people think you're very skilled in the kitchen. I eat a lot, but I'm still clearly learning about all this. I have made this a bunch of times, but not always perfectly. The end result is actually surprising. It comes out better than this, and I think you'll be surprised. So I think we're just going to go and press in as much as possible into the pan here. It's very forgiving dough. Messy, right? You want to get it up around the sides too, because we're going to press and make these nice little edges. And press away, and no one will know. So we want to get kind of an even thickness, because the parts that are thinner will shrink, and we don't want shrinkage. Seinfeld reference there. Clearly this is not a recipe if you're in a rush like with the zoodles last week. That was a quick and easy meal. This is the opposite. We've got our shell out of the freezer. We're going to put oil on top, press it all the way down, and then weight it down. I just use beans, quick, easy, not too expensive, and into a 375-degree oven. Got some seedless raspberry jam. Gonna melt this into a glaze. Usually you would use apricot jam, but I do not have that today, so I'm gonna go with raspberry and see if it works. Got 3 tablespoons cold water, and we're gonna sprinkle some unflavored gelatin over it. Just let that sit for about a minute. And now we're going to heat the gelatin and water. Water being the only word that I get made fun of for having a Jersey accent. And we're just going to do this until the gelatin melts. Nice and liquidy, all good. And done. So we're going to take out our pastry cream that's been in the refrigerator. And mix that all up good. We're going to take some of the raspberry, brush them on the inside here. I did end up turning the oven down a little bit to 350. We were getting a little bit too much browning on the edges, but it'll be okay. And I covered the sides with a little aluminum foil so they didn't get too done, but I'm okay with this. Pastry cream goes in and spread. So we've got a nice layer. Now the fun part, layering in our nice fruit here. Strawberry slices are real cute. They look like little hearts. Got our blueberries. Should also just press down a little bit, get them stuck into the cream. And whatever we don't use, maybe we can do something with for breakfast tomorrow. Gonna glaze it, make it look a little nicer. And this is fine. The apricot is a clear color, but this is turning out just fine. This was a seedless raspberry jelly, no seeds that you have to strain out. And this will give everything a nice shine and also help it stick together a little better. So that is it. Thank you for watching. We are going to try to wrap this up and get it to the barbecue, and hopefully everybody will like it. How long do you think you can do? He's done.